So I got to ask you this first. Did you actually understand everything with Mr. Miracle, or did you just kind of feel it and just kind of go with it, go with the story? Okay, never mind.
Now, this, I gotta say, is one of the best books I've ever read, even though it's slow. I know they're making a TV show on this later in the year, correct? Or next year?
It's in development. They've already casted the voice actors for like Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, Darkseid.
And it's
So
animated.
and it's adult animation. So
Ooh.
I'm expecting like Creature Commandos type, where it's
Hmm.
a little more adult leaning.
Interesting. And this is the same guy, Tom King, who wrote Supergirl. This is a 12 issue comic. It was a little so okay. The first two issues, they started off phenomenal. Um, like you said, you did warn me as I was reading that it would slow down, and it did. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it was still really good. It was just kind of like I wasn't getting answers, you know what I mean? Like I want to say issues 3 to like 8 maybe. It was good, but I wasn't getting answers, you know what I mean?
And spoiler alert, you really don't get any answers.
Yeah. No, you don't. And so basically, okay, now we're getting to huge spoiler territory. So if you haven't read the book, I would say, even though we kind of spoiled just a small bit at the beginning, if you haven't read the book, I personally give this a minimum 9 out of 10. Um, it's a must read for me.
Oh, minimum.
Um,
Okay, for a second I was like, damn, okay, that's but no, you said minimum 9 out of 10.
yeah,
All right.
minimum 9 out of 10. I know, what did you say? You said you gave it a 9.1, Miguel?
Yes, I would definitely go with a 9.1. And the only reason it is at a 9.1 is again, it's a little slow at times. There are definitely some panels that I guess you could say maybe go on for a little too long and could have been used a little bit better.
Hmm.
But maybe that's just me. Um and the story, don't get it wrong, it was amazing, but like it also was some confusing at times.
It was confusing. And I think it's on par with Supergirl at 9.1. It is the one of the best comics I've ever read. It's tied with Supergirl. Um, if anyone doesn't know, if you want to read it, it's about tell you what it's about right now. It's about schizophrenia. It's Mr. Miracle, and I mean, I don't think it's far-fetched to say he has schizophrenia, even though it doesn't necessarily say it. What do you think, Miguel?
Yeah, I mean, Scott Free, who's Mr. Miracle for those that don't know. Like, you have the new gods, you have Darkseid in this, all that other stuff, but it's really not about like what's like the over or like what's going on in the background, like the war, like the new Genesis versus Apokolips. It's really more about Scott trying to live his life, but everything's just kind of feels off.
Yeah, he's trying to determine. So Mr. Miracle, all we know about his powers really is like he can escape anything. And he has these little saucers on his feet that he can fly with and kill with. But yeah, like you said, it's mainly about him trying to live his life and like he doesn't know what's real or not. He talks to people who are dead. He doesn't know what part is reality and what part is not. And even as the reader, you don't really know. But so I would it's I mean, to me, it's very like a person with schizophrenia. He starts off where, I mean, the book starts off as where like he tried to kill himself, and we don't know if he succeeded or not. Well, like, or sorry, he succeeded, but we don't know if he escaped death or not, right?
Yeah. Which throughout, I can't remember what issue it was. So this is where obviously, there will be some spoilers here. Um, it's like there's a panel where Metron, you remember the dude in the chair,
Yes, yes.
looks almost
At the
essentially
beginning,
like Professor Xavier, essentially. But he comes in like the middle of the book where he's like, "Hey, you don't belong here. This is where you belong," and shows him like the different, like the Justice League, like Superman, Batman, like all that other stuff,
oh,
like that big panel.
that was like issue 10 or 11. That was very late on.
And that's where I was just like, okay, is this like his chance? Like, is this Metron telling him like, "Hey, if you go over back to your timeline, like you've escaped death, but then he's just like, no, I'd rather stay here with my family and all this. So I think he wants
Oh.
to stay in this like made up world that he made. Now, this is my take.
Hmm.
I could be horribly wrong.
Okay, you know what? That makes more sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm scrolling back to issue 2 and where Metroid first pops up. He only pops up twice in the book, which is like I
Yeah.
believe this is issue 2 right here. It's page 50. And he pops up and all he says is, Scott Free, you are not to know the face of God. Do you understand? You're not to know the face of God. And he just repeats that and then leaves. And that's it. And then we don't see him again until exactly what you said. He shows up like later in like 10 or 11 and says, You've now seen the face of God. This is the world you're supposed to be in. And
Yeah.
so the whole time I interpreted it as like Scott Free had schizophrenia and that he was talking to people that weren't there. But you're saying that, and yours makes a lot of sense as well. You're saying that he did succeed in killing himself, and now he's in like a heaven or hell type thing, and he just
Kind
doesn't
of
want to go
a
back.
kind of in like, yeah, like limbo where he's just like, I just like, man, I don't know if I want to go. I mean, I got my wife, I got my kid, like, the war is,
Hmm.
kind of dealt with because, again, they pretty much a good bit of everybody kind of dies. And then
Yeah.
he's just like, well, now that that's over, like, I just want to stay here and live my best life. So that's how I took it. But I have also heard and read that like there's multiple theories. Like,
What other
there's like
theories have you
mine,
read?
there's like yours.
Wait, but with my theory, right, the schizophrenia part, were other people online saying that too?
Oh, for dude, there's like multitude of theories just because that's essentially the book because it kind of leaves things open ended. It
Yeah.
but it leaves it open ended so each person, I'm assuming, each like the reader has their own
Hmm.
interpretation of what it transpired and how it maybe ended.
Huh.
So
Wow.
that's like after I finished reading everything, I'm like, I kind of thought about the book like afterwards, and I'm like, oh, and I was just like, okay. I mean, in my head, I was just like, it makes sense, like what I thought
Yeah.
was going on. Um, but then I got to, reading a little bit more about what people like thought about reading the book, and I'm like, okay, so some other people have other different theories. Like off the top of my head, I can't remember what they were, but like
Hmm.
there were multitude of like different ones, and I'm like, okay, okay, so there are people that thought like I did, but then there are people that thought like other things, and it's like,
Hmm.
okay, interesting. Like, I don't know, it's very interesting.
See, so what I interpreted was the how he got like this schizophrenia because in real life people some people can be born with it, but also some people can get it from like traumatic events like sometimes people overdose on drugs and then they develop schizophrenia and bipolar. So I thought at the beginning when he attempted to kill himself to try to escape from it, like he was depressed, right?
Yeah,
And so he attempted to kill himself. He escaped death. He succeeded because he can escape everything, but now he's left with a lot of problems, like I said, like schizophrenia, like mental
yeah,
problems like that. Um, and he can't decipher what's reality and what's not. And to the point where I didn't know if the whole war was real, you know? I didn't know if the
yeah,
whole war was in his head. I didn't know either or the baby was in his head. So I think either the whole war was real and his family was fake, or his family was real and the whole war was fake. You know, like I mean that's just one possible theory. I don't know, but it's just that's how I interpreted the beginning anyways, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think this is just one that I don't think we'll ever get like
Definitive
well,
answer.
a definitive, but maybe we might if they end up doing this like new
The
series.
show?
They might do it like the book, but then they might do more seasons and they might dive
Yeah.
in more into like the lore of it. So like it essentially imagine like it was
Hmm.
instead of a 12 issue, it was like
Like
more of
fifth.
an
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, do you know if this series is going to be a part of the DCU or not?
Yes, it is confirmed.
Shoot,
Let's say,
okay.
yeah,
So I
confirmed.
don't think they'll do the whole schizophrenia thing. I think that's going to be what you said. It's going to be about how he's in like limbo and then he just doesn't want to escape and then maybe at the end he'll decide to escape because if he has to become a part of show up in the movies if it's part of the DCU, right? Or he has to show up in other projects, right?
I would assume so, but again, I don't know. That's just gonna have to be kind of a wait and see type deal because
Yeah.
that would be interesting um to see how they would do like Mr. Miracle and like the new gods and like all this other stuff and be able to connect it to the Justice League and like all that. And by the way, guys, this is our first time ever reading like Mr. like learning about the
Yeah.
like Mr. Miracle character.
I
Like we
knew
know,
nothing about him.
yeah, we knew about like Darkseid, like pretty much everybody does, but like aside from that, like I really did not know anything about Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, Orion, like all that, all the new gods. Like that was all new to me.
And
So maybe this is like a different comic than what he's normally like, and maybe he's completely different in like especially like the original comics or like the ongoing comics, or not ongoing, but the more recent comics. So, but I'll just have to read up more on Mr. Miracle to figure out how exactly he functions.
and you know what we'll probably do? We'll read the New Gods, we'll read more Mr. Miracle, and then we'll re revisit this book and this podcast. We'll do another podcast again right before the show comes out, you know?
Yes.
So we will have more information, more depth on the character. But um yeah, it was just so good. There was a few questions I had off topic about the book. He met up towards the end, he met up with Booster Gold, and I think it was it Blue Beetle that was with him too when they were
Yes.
drinking?
Yeah, I kind of figured it was, but I wanted to make sure until he finally said Ted, which
Yes,
the original the well, I wouldn't say the original, but
the most
the
popular
well, well to
or
me
most well known.
the most popular to me is Jaime Reyes, the one we saw in the live action movie.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, the Ted Cord is like I consider like the original Blue Beetle, but I know there's a previous one before him. I just
Gotcha.
can't.
Now, okay. No, I just wanted to mention about the book as well. Like it's so deep. So there was one issue, right, where and this is why it makes me believe, again, I know it makes me believe it was the schizophrenia route they were going. I would also like that because it's more real, like it is like real life, and people do deal with like family members and friends who have this, and I think it hits close to home if they were to take this route with the show.
Which I think is why I enjoyed this so much is
Yes.
because okay, there are definitely some aspects that I won't relate to. Um,
Mhm.
but there are definitely some aspects of it of like, seeing it in real life or being able to relate to some portions of the book or the characters that made me I don't know. It definitely it made me connect more, especially with the relationship between Big Barda and Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, she was very understanding, she was very caring, and she almost like it's almost like she knew that Scott had this mental problem. And there was one issue that was so good. It was like it was so deep. It was oh dude, it almost made me cry. It was like
Let me
Scott
guess.
was
Is it the
which one?
one where they're in the park and he's swinging his kid?
No, no, it was before that.
Oh, see that one when Big Barda actually came out and like literally just was full on honest, just like you were
Oh,
gonna fucking leave us. I had to
that
freaking
was
find
sad.
you, like killing yourself, like and all this. I'm like, oh damn, okay.
That was very sad. The one that really got me was at the beginning of the issue. And throughout the whole volume, really, Scott was like, I don't know what to believe, what's true, what's not. And then Barda tells a story at the beginning of this issue about, well, Granny Goodness told you that she loved you and you believed her. And then it goes on and on. They keep going through. I think they're invading the somewhere in Apocalypse or whatever.
Hmm.
Or not Apocalypse, sorry. They're invading a part in New Genesis. And then in the end of the issue, Scott goes, "I love you," and then Big Barda goes, "I believe you." And I was
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yep.
like he doesn't know what's real or what's not, but he just has to choose to believe. And then she's like, "I love you," and she goes, "I believe you." So like you know what I mean? She's believing that's real. It's just proving like, oh, okay, well, we don't know what's real, but at least we know their love is real, you
Yeah.
know?
And that's also why I love this comic is because this is definitely not I me personally, I don't I wouldn't consider this like a superhero story. I
No.
think I would say it's a psychological story that so happens to have superheroes stuff in it.
And I think it's like it's cool because like they're gods, but no matter how powerful they are, it shows how human they are. You know what I mean? Like how emotional
Yes.
and how hard it is to deal with things like that. Like a person who doesn't know what reality is, not doesn't matter how strong you are.
Yeah. And I think this is where like Tom King, who wrote this book and Supergirl, which we've done a pod on before, I think this is where like he's like peak Tom King.
100%.
And we're not trying to like be like shills or like, dick ride Tom King, but like so far the things we have read, and it's because it's been highly recommended by just about everyone, have been amazing. Supergirl, Mr. Miracle. Um, I've heard Vision is good. He wrote one about Vision.
Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel.
Oh shit. Okay, that's I want to do that next.
Strange Adventures. There's another one. Someone can remind me down in the comments, but he's definitely had like six that have been like critically acclaimed. So I mean that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
really good.
And
But
there's always there's a different lesson every time. Yes, there's the same vibe, but the lesson every time is completely different. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I mean you can tell like especially with the two that we have read. He loves doing like these superheroes and kind of not making them depressed, but like
I would say real, making them real.
yes, a little bit, yeah, more relatable.
Oh, well, how about this?
With some
Internal
trauma.
struggle.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a better wording than depressed. But yeah, he kind of takes like I said, like the characters, and you know they kind of struggle throughout the book, and it's like, man, okay, like I wouldn't have thought I could relate to this, but this is pretty cool. Um, and when it works, it works. Supergirl, it worked then, and like that's when he's a different beast. But then I've heard that he's also got some stuff like more so like ongoing stuff that some people say is not as good.
Yeah, I heard some of his stuff like his longer stuff isn't as good. The continuated stuff, is that what you call it?
Yeah, like the ongoing issues, or I guess you could say like the longer issues,
Right.
is what I've heard that isn't as great because like I said, we do know he has a style, and I haven't read any of the ongoing stuff or any of the longer issue stuff, but from what people make it sound like, it's like he tries to also make those characters like internally struggle when like the story doesn't call for it necessarily, or something like that. I'll have to actually read like one of the like the ongoing things to make a decision for myself, because I don't listen too well to reviews. I think some people have their opinions. I have my opinions. That's
Y-
why every person's different. Every person has different tastes.
Yeah, and yeah, so what yeah, basically I've seen the same thing online. People either love him or they hate him and there's not much in between. But these two books, Mr. Miracle and Supergirl, are the two best comics that I've read. And at this point, I've read a fair few now. Um, Still haven't read Planet Hulk because I know that's one that's supposed to be one of the best of all time. But
Yeah, aside from those two, I
uh,
think the only other one that comes close is Absolute Batman Volume 2.
Absolute Batman Volume 2 was really good. That's the only one that comes close.
Hmm.
But I think these two they're in a league of their own. I really think they're in a league of their own.
Yep. I was about to say, I it it was just amazing. Like I didn't think I'd ever love a book that much or rate a book, I guess, that highly.
Let me ask you
And I'm
this.
I'm not just saying this because we definitely don't want like Tom King to like join us for a podcast or anything like that. Um, but yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say this. I know it's 12 issues and it's fairly long. Are you gonna read this again down the line?
More than likely, yes. I will probably read it right before the series comes out, just to have a fresh memory.
I think I will too, and I think it's one of those books you kind of have to read a second time if you really want to understand it.
I
Because
think
yeah,
I think it's one of the books like Supergirl. It's definitely one that I would probably pick up at some point. But Mr. Miracle, I think for sure I will probably pick up again, just
yeah,
because of two people.
uh,
I loved
Big Barda.
Mr. Miracle and Big Barda's relationship. I
It was so good.
love them. Like that is I'm sorry, like I don't care who anybody's power couple is. I'm sorry, but right now that is like my power couple. Like Big Barda and Mr.
100%.
Miracle, like that relationship there, dude. It was just very relatable. Big Barda is just amazing, like understanding, like always there for him, like understanding of all his like struggles and like all this other stuff. And they're just it's a very chill relationship. Like there's rarely ever really any like conflict aside from, the other stuff that's going on in the background, but I very much loved the hell out of their relationship. It was
So
one of my favorite parts about the comic.
I 100% agree. The relationship was really good. Um, Let me ask you this. There was a part in one of the later issues. I have the page numbers here. It's like 190s to 195.
Yeah.
And it was when Mr. Miracle was on Apokolips, I believe. He was fighting. He was in the war while they would basically when they had the baby, they would alternate, I guess.
Yes, and it
And
would essentially be like he'd be one day, she'd be one day.
yes. And this was one day when he was at the war and he was fighting and it's like he was talking to Big Barda through a phone or whatever. I don't know
Oh
what they were talking
yeah,
through.
so that's the mother box.
So they were talking through the mother box. Okay.
Yes.
Because when I was reading it, it looked like he was talking to himself and that, but none of the enemies were saying anything. But I thought, well, maybe that's because they're enemies. They think he's crazy or something. Like, let's see. I'm trying to pull one up here. And yeah, he's getting beat up by it's one
Is
of
it
Big Barda's friend.
what's his it fucking looks like Robin
Kanto.
Hood.
He looks like
Yeah.
Robin Hood. Yeah, his name's
Yeah.
Kanto. He looks exactly like Robin Hood.
Man, I was not expecting Mr. Miracle to get fucking beat up.
Oh, I know. And like he's after just getting beat up by Kanto, and then the bodyguards, I guess, are taking him away. And then she goes that she's like, she said it's normal, whatever, something about the baby. And he goes, that's good. I like normal. How did Kanto go? Oh, we're leaving the field. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I almost had like he's talking,
Yeah, they're
but I
they're they're
guess
talking through the mother box.
gotcha. And the mother box is on his chest. Okay, I see it now. So the whole time I thought like it was part of
Just craziness.
his craziness, his delusions,
Gotcha.
um and even back on the thing I was saying earlier when we first started about Funky. You know, Funky was his agent, remember?
Yeah. It was
So
like, yeah, that and then you became like their babysitter.
he became their babysitter basically. But there was a scene in one of the issues where Funky was talking to Scott Free, and he was like, "Okay, we're gonna make this thing, your death, a big thing, like a big show." And then um uh Big Barda walks in and says, basically kills the two guys that were supposed to be take him to his execution, and then it looked like she killed Funky, but I guess she just whacked him real hard.
Yes, from the looks of it, I'm pretty sure she just whacked him good enough because I'm pretty sure then he like
Page
uh
132.
pops out again at some point.
Okay, yeah, because I thought maybe that Funky was dead and the whole time he was babysitting, and I was like, oh, this is one of his other delusions, but he was real from the looks of it.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of stuff that you just don't know what's real or whatnot, especially um like with how they did the paneling. Like every now and then you would get like that panel like Darkseid is
Yeah.
like just, and then every now and then you'd also get like the staticky
Yes,
panels
the staticky
where it's
panels,
like
yeah.
it's almost like just like whoa.
Like
uh
reality's breaking. Like this isn't reality.
yes.
Yeah.
So I definitely loved like the art and how they did that when it came to that kind of stuff, because it's like, ooh,
So
okay,
good. And
interesting.
speaking of what you said earlier in Big Barda's love, and it was the same issue that I'm talking about when she basically hits Funky really hard.
Yeah,
So at the very beginning of the issue, um Scott is like, "Hey, just tell me to stay and I'll do it." Like cuz he basically for context, his execution is in 3 days and he can escape anything, and he tells Big Barda, he goes, "Hey, listen, my execution is in 3 days. If you want me to stay, just say so." And she's like, "No, you're your own man. You decide yourself." Then they go on a date, and then they have another perfect day, another perfect day. And then, okay, his time is ready to come. The two executioners come, and he's ready to go with them. But then Big Barda comes in, kills the two, hits Funky, and says, "Stay." Like at the very last moment, she couldn't resist and be like, she really wanted him to be like, "Hey, you need to decide to stay, and you want because you should want to live." And in
yeah,
the end, she can't help but be like, "All right, fuck it, Scott, stay. Like I need you." You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think it also comes for because I mean they essentially both got raised in the same planet,
Yeah.
um, by Granny Goodness,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, Granny Goodness is not so good. Um, apparently she did a lot of horrible stuff to Big Barda, Mr. Miracle, and whoever came before them. But I think that almost like trauma bond type deal.
Yeah. Trauma bond.
Um, I think that plus just the other aspects of like their personalities and their characters together, just I don't know. I think they just complement each other very well.
Can I ask
Like
you this about, sorry,
I was gonna say she keeps him very grounded.
Big Barda?
Yes.
Yes, 100%. And let me ask you this, about speaking of Granny Goodness, do you remember in one of the first issues, I believe it was issue 3, but it was page 56, 57. They're going to like they infiltrate her camp, and they just talk with her, and then in the middle of the night they go to kill her.
Yeah.
And um Mr. Miracle can't really kill her, but well, he not because he can't, but like he doesn't want to, I guess, emotionally.
Yeah.
So before he doesn't before basically Granny Goodness says, "Oh, we need to talk." And she says, did Metron visit you last night?" And he just says, "Yes, but I thought it was a dream." She says, "There's so much you need to know." And then she basically says like something about a betrayal, like Orion was going to betray them, that Orion wanted Granny Goodness to kill you, Scott. And she says all this stuff. None of that gets answered to me, unless it does. Am I missing something?
Um, I'll be honest, I can't entirely remember. Because technically, Orion was kind of a fucking dick,
He was,
honestly.
yeah.
And I don't know if maybe the betraying part was, when Orion essentially was trying to, execute him.
Hmm.
Maybe that would be like the betraying part.
Do you
But
remember
yeah, I don't really know.
do you remember when the High Father said that he tried to put a lot of spies on Apocalypse and that one finally succeeded? I think Granny Goodness was the spy because that she says what he doesn't know is that I've been a loyal friend to the High Father, the real High Father, the High Father who meant for you, my own child, to have his throne. So was she the like double
Mm,
agent in Apocalypse, Granny Goodness?
I mean, sounds like it.
It sounds like it, yeah, and but I thought it would be confirmed later on or there'd be more to it, but there was never more to it. It was just like that was it. So there is a panel that confirmed I guess it confirms it because who knows what's real and what's not. But
Yeah.
that Granny Goodness was the one who told the High Father about that Darkseid has the anti-life equation. So was Granny Goodness actually good? Like I know she did some horrible things, but like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that one, I think I'm gonna just have to read more about New Gods to,
Yeah,
because
same.
for the most part, she's been portrayed like evil because,
Hmm.
well, she's like, one of Darkseid's like generals. So
Yeah,
obviously we know Darkseid is not a good person.
right.
So for the most part, I think she's always been portrayed as evil, but this kind of seems more like her name. There might still be some goodness in her that she was still willing to like help out because maybe she didn't agree with like certain things that was happening in her world.
Unless, and we might sound fucking clueless here because, we still need to read more about Mr. Miracle, but unless she was good the whole time. You know what I mean? Because she was the secret agent of the High Father and she just had
Yeah,
to be that way.
and she was the one that I think it was in a vision or something, or saw her in the mirror, that she was the one that said that only Darkseid's, was it only the Apocalypse's or Darkseid's son can kill him or
Yeah,
whatever. And everyone was thinking it was Orion because technically, like
that's the son.
biologically, that is
Yeah,
his son. But they swapped kids. If you guys didn't know this, they swapped babies at the beginning. So Mr. Miracle was actually born in New Genesis with High Father as his father, and Orion was born in Apokolips with Darkseid as his father. But to stop a war and like do a truce, they swapped babies. So Mr. Miracle ended up growing up in Apokolips, and Orion growing up in New Genesis. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, there were definitely aspects in the book where there was like she was definitely showing signs of like, helping and like
right.
trying to be good at least.
And
Um,
that part confused me a little bit, but there was oh man, there's so many good parts. There was what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say about that, but to completely change topic, and I probably should have brought this up when we were talking about sad things. Do you remember when it was Mr. Miracle and it was what's that guy's name?
what's
Oh
he look
God, I'm
like?
gonna he was basically like the aide of the High Father.
The aid of the High Father. Are you talking about Light Ray?
Yes, Light Ray. When they came across the baby like bug person with one of Apocalypse's armies, and it was the baby, and they were like, "Oh, leave it," but Light Ray kills it anyways. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was fucking sad.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of those where it was like, oh damn, but that was also, well, it came out of an evil thing. So I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about that one.
I get it. I don't know. It made me sad because he just had a baby, and I
Fuck that
guess,
baby.
but
But yeah, no, I mean for him, it would, yeah, because he had just had the baby at that point,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then I know it was like they were fighting and they were talking about the mundane most of the story, which I kind of liked. The only thing I didn't like about the whole story of the comic was You know, at the beginning and the end of every issue, there was one page of the narrator talking about, and this is what will happen in the next issue of Scott Free is Mr. Miracle. Like, and it kept saying like stuff like that. And I was like, I get it. They're trying to be like a little joke. I don't find it funny and I don't like
You're just like,
it.
stop it right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
no, I get it. See, I kind of like that. Just
yeah.
because I don't know, it just kind of still made me, feel like I was reading a comic book.
Right. I guess.
Um,
I guess that's true.
but I mean, I think I've already touched on like the things that like to me were like maybe I didn't like as much as the rest, which wasn't really much. It was just like I say, it just got slow at portions, and
Yeah.
like sometimes like the panels were maybe used repeatedly.
But that was to like emphasize time passing.
Yeah, but I also feel like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you could have. It's just I don't know. To me, it was like waste of panels.
I kind of get what you're saying. I liked it though because it was like it showed that like there was a lot of
All right, now you're just disagreeing with me because I disagreed with you in the last one.
no 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 because I liked like a lot of like silence periods. You could feel like the mundane, the silence of it all when they would
Yeah,
had them blank, them same panels.
I will say I do like the how they lay the layout of the panels, where every page is 9 panels,
Hmm.
and there are some like certain panels where it's just a single panel, then it moves on to
Oh
the
yeah,
next
yeah, I do
panel,
like that. Yeah.
and then there's the ones where it's literally like a whole scene mixed in with like multiple panels.
Right.
Like I think one of those was like Darkseid sitting on like his
Yes.
throne or whatever or standing, and it was like multiple panels. I was like, damn, that dude has
So
aura.
yeah, no, for sure. Even though he got killed mad quick.
I know. I was so surprised. I was just like, wait a minute, what the?
Yeah. But so I know this was like I guess labeled as like a partly comedic book, right? Partly comedic comic book.
I think so.
I believe it was anyways. But anyways,
I mean, it
there
definitely
w
did have some comedic
it did have
aspects of
some
it.
comedic bits. I will say the funniest comic I still read to this day is Great Lake Avengers. Like
Oh,
that one's actually has funny parts. But there was some funny parts in this like when he met Darkseid and he brought the veggie
oh my
tray.
god, dude! Yes, the veggie train. You could, but Darkseid just grabs it, dips it in ranch,
And that was one of the ones where I liked
munch.
where yeah, like and that was one of the parts where I liked where the panels were like repetitive because it was just like him him again and you
Yeah,
could slowly
it was
see
like,
him.
yeah, that part right there I did like, and it was also it's just like, oh my god, Darkseid likes baby carrots. Noted.
And then at the end when um Metroid came again, or was it Metroid right? Am I saying that right?
Metron.
When Metron came again and told him like about the reality, he just they're all gasping and then he just slowly goes to eat a another carrot. I thought that was
Uh,
funny.
yeah, and I thought it was. I don't know if you noticed, but like every like issue, he was wearing a different DC character.
Yes, I did notice
Like
that.
Batman in one, Superman in another one, Flash in another, or Green Lantern in another. I was just like, okay, all right, so we're we're going through all the heroes.
Yeah,
So I thought that was pretty cool.
it was
Uh,
cool. Yeah.
but
But
I was about to say, man, I was gonna say something. I forgot. What were you
whoops.
gonna say?
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I was just gonna say, I did like that there was small appearances and cameos from like the DC characters. Like I know you had Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
There was the Batman like plushie, I guess, you know. So it
Oh
still
yeah.
made you
Where
feel like you're in that world. But the only thing is, right? So you know you're in the DC world. And I know why they didn't for story purposes, but like if there was a oh, and you know what? This might tie back to like it being a reality or not, but like if there was a big threat like that, like Darkseid, and they were losing the war, where's the Justice League? You know?
but see, they don't know there because it's happening on two different like it's happening. So New Genesis and Apokolips, I think you can only access it through a mother box.
But why don't they mother box their way the Justice League there? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think because I mean Mr. Miracle didn't seem like the type to involve people really. He's just like, I'll just handle this.
I guess, but it is like world threatening. It's Darkseid, and he's once he takes over New Genesis, would he not come from Earth? Come to Earth?
Yes, but
So
technically it wasn't threatening Earth just yet
I suppose,
because
but
the war was between New Genesis and Apokolips.
it was a Justice League level threat, and the Justice League were not there. They didn't seem to care. Well, not that I mean, that's not that they didn't seem to care. It's that like, Mr. Miracle never asked. So it begs the question: was the whole war real or not? Because also on top of that, another point to add to that theory is that Darkseid died so quickly. You know?
Yes, that's another one when he died. So when everybody started like dying, like when they killed off, like when Darkseid killed Orion, when Darkseid died, Granny Goodness, um, Calabac, like all these people just started. I'm like man, I feel like these are pretty big characters,
Yeah.
and they're just dying. Like, fuck. All
So
right, is this like a Game of Thrones type of shit or?
it makes you wonder, was the war real? And then so you've got the two things. One, the Justice League didn't show up, even though it was a pretty big threat. Two, Darkseid dies really easily. Three, like you're saying, everyone's pretty much dying. And then four, as all this is going on, Mr. Miracle and Big Barda have no care in the world about the war. They're talking about their real life. Or not their real life, but like their life back on Earth, their family life, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they don't seem to like have vested too much interest in the war?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that could just be a thing of like they were raised in Apocalypse, so not much phases them at this point because they've seen it all. But I don't know, it just begs the question, maybe that's, indicators that the war's not really real.
Yeah. I was about to say, like I said, there's little things throughout the book where it's just like, hmm, okay, is this? You just don't know, like what's like, yeah, like what's actually like the truth.
I
Um,
think one of the things you're meant to decide is at the end when Oberon talks to him, the um Oberon is the dead
yeah,
guy, I guess.
the aid, the one that used to be the aid for the old Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, and then also the High Father talks to him, and it said it affected your world. You almost escaped it. One of them said basically you had found your way to hell and said you almost escaped it, but you chose not to. And then the other one said you found your way to heaven. You found your way to escape it, but you chose not to. So, and the panels of him life on Earth was very like white. His family life was
Yeah,
like very white and like glowy, whereas the panels when he was in Apocalypse and the war and even New Genesis, they were more like red and like dark, like representing hell and heaven, obviously. So like maybe you're meant to decide which version was real.
yeah. See, and that's I think that those panels also that's what brought like that idea in my head where it's just like, okay, like you were presented, like you had the opportunity to escape, but you would rather stay in this timeline or whatever, where you have Big Barda, your kid, like all this other stuff. Like now things are a little bit better for you. Things are kind of stabilizing, and you just want to stay in it instead of like going back to the real world.
Right. And that's a really good theory. It definitely makes sense. I just don't know. And then even at the end, it fuzzes out a little bit. The very last panel, it fuzzes out like statically a little bit?
Yeah, and like I said, I really hope because I this is where I'm going to talk a little bit more about like the show um that I mean I'm assuming is getting hopefully made right now. And we'll get it maybe late 2027, sometime in 2027. But I think the show could definitely be risky.
It could be.
Because if it misses like the comic, like what it is and what it's trying to do, then yeah, that could be a huge miss. But if they stick close to it and not just, what am I trying to say? Like expand on the comic through the show,
Yeah.
I think that could really like just be one of the best animated shows. Um
I think if they take the real approach of, a mental illness and a loving wife having to live and help that person through their mental illness, I think that would be an award-winning show and it would relate to a lot of people. It's very real. Obviously, it's all about the execution, but if they were just to take that approach a bit more than leaving it open-ended, I think it would be perfect.
which I feel like they have to. Like
Yes.
we know like Gunn already said like Darkseid's not going to be the big bad for this chapter.
Hmm.
So like we know that like if they do or when they do the New Gods show or Mr. Miracle show, like we know Darkseid's going to be there, but he's definitely not going to be a like a primary
Let me ask you
or
this.
a lead.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Well, actually, if we know that Darkseid is not, well, that's kind of far-fetched, but I was just gonna say if we know that Darkseid is not the main villain for this phase, and this Mr. Miracle show is gonna be in this phase, maybe it shows that Darkseid in Mr. Miracle's world is not real.
Maybe I think he's just they're going to slowly start introducing Darkseid and having him loom over the DCU,
Yeah,
similar to
okay. Like
kind of
Thanos.
how kind of how Thanos was, but I think they're gonna build up Darkseid even like
Even more.
longer because I
Okay.
feel like there's definitely some other like Justice League level villains that can get their own little spotlight before Darkseid, because we also did just recently get a Darkseid. Like I don't know how many when was the Zack Snyder
Justice League,
Justice
I think
League?
2016, 2017.
Okay, it's been a decade. Um, but still, um, but yeah, that'll be very interesting because
2017.
2017. Okay. Yeah, that'll be very interesting because it also means like whoever is casted to voice Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, and Darkseid, those would be the live action. So those would be the people that would be playing them in live action if they ever came to
I
live
see.
action. So that'll be very interesting. But I do feel like they're not going to change the like how the Mr. Miracle book was, but I do think they're going to elaborate a little bit more and
Less open-ended.
less open-ended and mold it more towards a story that can fit in the DCU where Mr. Miracle and Big Barda can actually.
Appear again.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what makes me think they're gonna take your approach, your theory's approach. You know what I mean? About him deciding if he wants to escape this false world that he made up, so
Yeah.
that he probably will escape the false world and join the DCU. So that's what I'm thinking. They'll go with that approach, which I hope they don't. That would suck. Because I'm not saying it would suck. It's still good. It's just like it's not as relatable.
It's just not the way you want it.
It's not the way I want it exactly, but it's also not as relatable, not real world possible because people can't make up a whole. Well, I'm just saying they can. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we'll get our answers. We're just gonna have to wait probably another year or so before we get any answers. Or, unless Tom King, if you're watching this, if you can give us some answers, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
give us some motherfucking answers.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, dude, I mean, this is definitely like actually, all right. So if you had to rank three books, like your top three, what would they be?
Ooh, okay.
Like you have to put one and one.
3 comics, right?
3 comics. Yep.
Okay, Supergirl and Miss Miracle easily get in there. One and
Yeah.
two. I'm not
Okay.
sure which I put at number one, because they're very different. I want to say I put Mr. Miracle at one, but the way it ended is a little bit disappointing. Whereas Supergirl was more like concrete ending, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they definitely go number one and two. Number three as of right now, okay. Okay, look. Unbiasedly, I have to put Absolute Batman Volume 2, but biasedly, I'm putting Great Lakes Avengers. Because I still really enjoyed Great Lakes Avengers because it was so different and funny.
Okay.
What about
No, I
you?
was about to say, I mean, yeah, Great Lakes Avengers was definitely a good read. Not what I was expecting at all, especially from
Same.
like a joke Avengers group.
And it's only what, 5 issues?
Yes.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's hard because yeah, definitely easy Mr. Miracle Supergirl.
Yeah.
Um, to me, there's just one certain thing that Supergirl just does better throughout than Mr. Miracle.
Which is?
So I think Supergirl has obviously, like you said, it has a very concrete ending, and it is definitely um also very easy to follow. You know,
Yes.
it's very clear, like it's a journey story from here from point A to point B. Versus Mr. Miracle kind of always keeps you guessing, like,
Yeah,
okay,
what's real and what's not.
just like, all right, cool. This is confusing, but like I'm intrigued. Um,
Yes.
and then as far as really I think that's just my biggest thing because I mean I have Supergirl as a 9.2 and Mr. Miracle is a 9.1, so it's really a point 0.1 difference. And I think it's really just because of that, just because Supergirl is just it's a lot easier for people to follow um than Mr. Miracle was. But if I were wanting to read like a story, like the like everything again, I would want to do Mr. Miracle.
I would want to read Mr. Miracle again if I had to read one or the other again, but it is disappointing that it's open-ended. I wish there was a bit more. I don't mind it being open-ended, just not that open-ended, you know what I'm saying? I think it
Yeah.
was left very, very open-ended.
Now, I don't maybe they did it on purpose, just kind of being like, okay, we're gonna leave it open ended and each person's just gonna they're gonna come up with how they think it ended.
Hmm. Yeah, but then
Is
it's like,
is maybe like my take.
but then to me, like a person like me would be like, man, mo all of it's in his head, you know? Most of it's in his head.
And well, there you go. That's
Or,
that's your
yeah.
ending.
Well, I think the most logical ending, and it was what I brought up earlier, where Scott goes, I love you, and Big Barda goes, I believe you. So we know that's real. Out of anything, we know that their love is real. So
Oh
that
yeah.
tells me,
Man, I would be so fucking crushed, dude, if by like the end of that book everything was just in his head
oh
from like
yeah.
since Apokolips, and he's not even with Big Barda at all.
Well, whether she's not with them or she is, we know their love is real. And if that's real, it makes me think that she's real because because okay, they had the whole do you remember the whole philosophical issue of when they were talking about Plato or somebody? I'm gonna pull it up here, but
A what?
do you know what I'm talking about?
Say that again. They
Do
were
you remember
talking about what?
the whole issue when Scott was having this whole philosophical talk? I think he was having
Oh yeah, I remember. I can't remember what issue it was though.
it was basically talking about like what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it was a long spiel.
Do you remember if it was by himself? I think it was by himself, right?
No, I think he was with Big Barda.
Huh.
But
Well, I'll
anyways,
have to.
while you're looking that one up, I think honestly, I think my favorite scene throughout the whole book, and it's just very simple, and again it's because the relationship that Mr. Miracle and Big Barda have is when they are invading New Genesis to confront Orion, and they're going through all the booby traps and all the different enemies and everything. While they're doing so, they're literally just having a simple conversation about rearranging rooms and furnitures
Right.
and renovations. And then by the end, when they're finally done talking, that's when she's just like Scott, I'm pregnant.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
Like,
like,
yeah, she's like,
oh
why do we
my
have to make a new room?
God.
Yeah, that part as well kind of teared me up a little bit. Like, why do we have to make a new room? And then she doesn't answer. She's like, you like the room. It's like, but you didn't
I thought
answer.
she was being needy, man. I was like, why do you need to rearrange shit?
Yeah. Now, back on the thing earlier about what's reality and what's not. It was page 124, 125 is when they were on the last day of like Scott's like before he's supposed to be executed.
Yeah.
Obviously he doesn't get executed. And they were sitting at the beach and they were talking about Descartes, who was a philosopher in real life.
Hmm.
Um and basically it was the whole thought process of I think, therefore I am and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and basically it came to the conclusion of it's all logical reasoning, and it came to the conclusion of if he's ever in doubt, he knows doubt is real because he's doubting it right now. He's doubting his existence, he's doubting what's real. Well, he knows doubt is real, so at least he knows that much. And then how he crawls out of doubt is so you go back to doubting, all the doubting, and he thinks, therefore I am. If he's thinking, right? If he knows he's doubting, he knows that's real, therefore he's thinking. So he knows that's real. And if he's thinking, then God exists. And if God exists, and if God is good, whatever the world is, then it's real. But then people came later and said, like, that didn't work because basically the setup presumed the conclusion. But if they're thinking, so he says, once you say God is your definition of God, if is he says, once you say God, if your definition of God is that God exists, then saying God exists because I said God, that's just stupid tautology, like a word play, like not a proof. And then he says, Scott says, what bothers me is that if that's true, the wordplay thing, then it's true of all of it, of the first thing. I think, therefore I am. You're presuming an I, and you're saying I, and that contains the existence of thinking. So if you're saying I think God is not real, well, your presumption.
Man, you
I know
really
it's all
dug that.
confused.
You dug real deep in this, huh?
So it's I know it's very confusing, but it's like I think that page answers if you can read into that, that'll answer what's true about the story or what's not.
Yeah.
So, but all we know is this: their love is real because he says it. Barda believes her. And he says I, therefore it exists. So we know those two exist. We know their love exists. What happens between them in the story? I think all of that's real. I don't think what happens on Apokolips is real. Um, and obviously the people he meets throughout, I don't think are real. That's what
Yeah.
I'm interpreting. But I think if you read those pages again and again about him talking about Descartes and all that, that'll determine what's
I
real and what's
think
not.
I think once we read the New Gods comics that we got, I'll probably read up on some more Mr. Miracle stuff. And um whenever we reread Mr. Miracle again,
Yeah.
especially like before the DCU series, I think we'll probably maybe understand a little bit better or maybe come up with something completely different, you know?
I
Um
hope we understand it better because God, it's confusing. It's in a good way, but like.
yes, it is a good confusing, which I never thought I'd say that, honestly. I didn't know
Yeah.
confusing could be good, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I was about to say Mr. Miracle 9.1 for me. It's not perfect. It's definitely not for everyone, I'll tell you that.
I would
Um
agree. It's not for everyone.
it's slow, like it has its slow parts, it's weird, it's confusing. Um but going back to what I said like at the beginning, I didn't understand everything, but I still felt all of it.
Yes, 100%. I felt it all. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And yeah, if you haven't read it, I highly suggest it, especially if you are also a fan of the DCU, because Again, there's a series coming by Tom King. So go ahead and do that. And yeah, if you also haven't read Supergirl by Tom King, do that. And you can go ahead and listen to our last podcast on that. But all right. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.